Jeff Bezos is an American internet and aerospace entrepreneur, media proprietor, and investor. He is best known as the founder, chief executive officer, and president of Amazon. The first centile-billionaire on the Forbes Wealth Index, Bezos was named the richest man in modern history after his net worth increased to $150 billion in July 2018 and then to $170 billion in September 2018. He lost $36 billion worth of his fortune in 2019 as a result of his divorce from Mackenzie Bezos, who instantly became one of the 25 richest people in the world and the third richest woman.
When we are criticized, first decide, is your critic right? Are we doing something wrong? If you are, change.
His full name is Jeffrey Preston Bezos, also known as Jeff Bezo according to Donald Trump. As of this production, he is 56 years old and was born on January 12, 1964, in Albuquerque, New Mexico in the United States. He stands at 1.71 meters tall or 5 foot 7 inches. Other than watching Star Trek, Bezos has another space-related hobby, gliding around in a submarine in the ocean looking for old decommissioned NASA rockets, and he often brings his kids along for the adventure. He always makes sure he gets enough rest. He sleeps for 8 hours every night, which is a lot compared to other CEOs. Regimented morning routines aren't for everyone, and Bezos is a strong supporter of letting the morning come naturally. That's why he doesn't schedule any early morning meetings and prefers to spend time with loved ones. His biological father didn't even know he was alive until just recently. Fortunately, Bezos himself is a much better father. He prioritizes family, and like Elon Musk, he's got a big one, so he sort of has to. In 1992, Bezos was working for D.E. Shaw in Manhattan when he met novelist Mackenzie Tuttle, who was a research associate at the firm. The couple married a year later. In 1994, they moved across the country to Seattle, Washington, where Bezos founded Amazon. The couple had 4 children together, 3 sons and 1 daughter adopted from China. On January 9, 2019, Bezos and his wife of 25 years, Mackenzie, announced on Twitter their intent to divorce after a long period of separation. On April 4, 2019, the divorce was finalized, with Bezos keeping 75% of the couple's Amazon stock and Mackenzie getting the remaining 25%, which is worth around $35.6 billion. However, Bezos would keep all of the couple's voting rights.
I guarantee you 2 kids cannot build a giant space company in their dorm room. But I want to create the heavy lifting infrastructure so that the future generation, 2 kids in a dorm room, will be able to create a giant space company.
Jeff Bezos was born on January 12, 1964 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the son of Jacqueline Jorgensen and Ted Jorgensen. At the time of his birth, his mother was a 17-year-old high school student and his father was a bike shop owner. After Jacqueline divorced Ted, she married a Cuban migrant, Miguel Bezos, in April 1968. Soon after the wedding, Miguel adopted Jeff and Jeff's last name was changed legally from Jorgensen to Bezos. The family moved to Houston, where Mike got a job as an engineer for Exxon. They were closer to his mother's parents, who had a cattle ranch in San Antonio. His maternal grandmother, Mattie Louise Geis, was the first cousin to the country singer George Strait. While growing up in Texas, Bezos used his parents' garage as a laboratory for his science projects. He would also spend summers working at his grandparents' ranch. Jeff later claimed to have learnt his work ethic during his summers at the ranch. He would also later purchase the ranch and expand it from 25,000 to 300,000 acres. The family moved to Miami around the time that Jeff was entering high school. While in high school, Jeff worked as a short order cook at McDonald's. He was high school valedictorian and a National Merit Scholar. In his valedictorian speech, he mentioned a dream that people of the Earth would eventually colonize space. He attended Princeton University with a plan to study physics, but his love of computers shifted his studies. He eventually graduated summa cum laude with a 4.2 GPA, Phi Beta Kappa. He earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Science and Electrical Engineering. Upon graduating from college, Jeff went on to work for a financial technology firm, Fitel. He then transitioned to the banking industry when he landed a product management job at Bankers Trust. In 1990, he was hired as a financial analyst for D.E. Shaw & Co., a hedge fund that had recently been launched with the idea that mathematical modeling could predict big market gains. Jeff worked at D.E. Shaw until 1994. by which point he had risen to the company's fourth senior vice president. He was 30 years old. A year earlier, Jeff became fascinated with the nascent World Wide Web. He wanted to sell something online, and he landed on selling books. Bezos created Amazon's business plan during a cross-country drive from New York to Seattle. He eventually founded the company in 1994, setting up the original business in his garage. And as they say, the rest is history. In 1999, Bezos was named Time Magazine's Person of the Year. In 2000, Bezos founded Blue Origin, a human spaceflight startup company, partially as a result of his fascination with space travel. Blue Origin includes an early interest in developing space hotels, amusement parks, colonies, and small cities for 2 million or 3 million people orbiting the Earth. The company was kept secret for a few years until it became publicly known in 2006 after purchasing a sizable aggregation of land in West Texas for the launch and test facility. In 2008, Bezos received an honorary doctorate in science and technology from Carnegie Mellon University. In 2013, Bezos was discussing commercial spaceflight opportunities and strategies with Richard Branson, multi-billionaire founder of the Virgin Group. During that year, he also purchased the Washington Post. In the 20 years since Amazon went public, Bezos has sold at least $70 billion worth of his shares. He sells roughly $1 billion worth of shares every year as part of a planned stock sale arrangement. The day Amazon went public, Amazon stock topped out at $18 and Jeff was left with a net worth of $12 billion. At the peak of the dot-com bubble, Amazon stock topped $106 per share. After the bubble burst, Amazon's stock price sank to an all-time low of $5 per share in October of 2001. At that point, Bezos' net worth sank to $2 billion. At various times in recent history, a single Amazon share traded for more than $2,000. So if you'd been smart enough to take $10,000 and buy shares of Amazon in October of 2001, you could have had $4.1 million before counting any dividends that they may have issued. In June 1998, Bezos' net worth hit $1 billion for the first time. In June 1999, it had hit $10 billion. In July 2015, he hit $50 billion. In January 2018, he hit $100 billion. And in July 2018, he hit $150 million. His all-time high net worth was in September 2018, which was $170 billion.
You want to be a chef, maybe you want to be a dancer. I don't know what you want to do.
I'm not sure my boss is going to like that.
But you do need to follow your passions.
Right.
Virtually all of us have fantasized about what we would purchase if we win $1 million lottery. Pictures of raving Ferraris, sunny private islands, raging yacht parties often come to mind. Billionaires and millionaires often make purchases we sometimes ignore as even an option. Would we purchase the Washington Post, or an extravagant private jet, or a clock that would count for 10,000 years, or a couple miles underground in the middle of nowhere in Texas? Well, if you're Jeff Bezos, you do all those things and more. By now, you surely acknowledge the bold, smiling face, and you'd probably have a couple of dozen Amazon boxes lying around your house that you meant to recycle weeks ago. That little company led to Jeff Bezos being the richest man on Earth, with an insane fortune of $113.9 billion. To put that into perspective, if he spends $20 every second, it will take him 177 years, 2 months, and 29 days to spend all of his cash. But Jeff is spending more than $20 per day. Though he is widely known for driving a Honda Accord, Jeff is far from frugal. Today, we're going to take a look at how Jeff Bezos spends his crazy amount of resources. From the businesses he buys, to almost all of us wanting his mansion, to the jets he flies. If you're Jeff Bezos, you can snatch up much more than one miserly haul. Try 3 villas, a DC townhouse, and a massive ranch. Jeff Bezos owns so much real estate, he's the 25th largest landowner in the United States, rivaling forestry companies and even farms. Jeff's first significant estate purchase lies in medieval Washington, a few miles away from the wealthy CEOs of Washington, including Microsoft owner Bill Gates. Seeing that Jeff and his wife at that time, Mackenzie, put down $10 million for a 5-bedroom house, 20,600 square foot home on a 5.3-acre waterfront. The apartment includes a pool and many posh features you can expect in a mansion, but that wasn't enough. 7 years later, they purchased the neighboring home, an 8,300 square foot home with an additional 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms that cost the couple over $50 million. On top of that, the home was renovated in 2010 for a whopping $28 million. Little is known about the interior of the two houses, but there is an odd feeling that there is an Alexa in each room. This $88 million investment is 88 times the average American will make in their lifetime. But Jeff is anything but ordinary. He returned to purchase the most substantial home in Washington, D.C. for $23 million. The property is a 100-year-old former textile mill with 25 bathrooms, 11 bedrooms, 3 kitchens, and a massive ballroom. When Jeff wants to escape the D.C. traffic, he can slap on his cowboy boots and experience a little serving charm at his 30,000-acre ranch in Texas. His ranch is worth millions of dollars, having recently been renovated and home to Blue Origin, Jeff's space exploration company. However, it was mostly bought to give his children some playing space during the summer. Jeff also owns a $24.45 million mansion compound in Beverly Hills. He chooses to buy one mansion and then skips a neighboring one for $12.9 million, making a monster property worth $37.35 million. The property has 13 bedrooms and 11 baths between the houses, giving them quite a powerful kingdom to roam around. However, one Beverly Hills home wasn't enough for Jeff. In February of 2020, he reportedly purchased the most expensive home ever. Sold in Los Angeles, the Warner Estate, it's estimated that Jeff paid a startling $165 million for the estate, topping the record for not just Los Angeles, but also California. The Warner Estate was built in 1937 by Jack Warner, one of the founders of Warner Brothers. Since then, it's undergone several renovations and passed through several wealthy hands. Dimensions are 13,600 square feet with 2 large guest houses, 2 pools, a spa, a tennis court, a motor court with gas pumps, and even a 9-hole golf course. The home's interior has 8 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, a movie theater, a bar, and fitted with floorings that were once owned by Napoleon himself. Naturally, Jeff needs a way to jump mansion to mansion, and there's no way he is stacking his family in his Honda Accord. Jeff owns a Gulfstream G650ER, which costs a whopping $65 million. The aircraft has 3 living areas, the most notable of which is a lounge area with 2 couches, a retractable flat-screen television, and a built-in wine cooler. There is also a back bedroom and a dining area with the most convenient seats on the planet. Flying in one plane will make it hard to ever fly in a regular aircraft again. Since he started dating Lauren Sanchez, Jeff has been spotted off the coast of Italy on super yachts and in Wimbledon. He recently pitched a lavish week-long birthday party for Lauren, which covers a party with high-profile celebrities like Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry. The birthday week ended with a romantic trip to Bath on a private yacht. On these trips, there is no doubt that Jeff has spent more on a single toast than most people spend on a week of food. He's known for picking unique foods on the menu, often opting for things like an octopus for breakfast. He's reportedly said that if there's something he's never had on the menu, he has to get it. Aside from fancy meals, expensive planes, and lavish properties, there are a few other places where the wealthy can spend their money. Mainly on other business ventures. And when you're as wealthy as Jeff, you can put your money in some other businesses. Jeff Bezos has invested in the Long How Foundation, a nonprofit organization based out of San Francisco. The company is building a 500-foot-tall clock that runs on day and night thermal cycles, and it's meant to take once a year for 10,000 years. The clock is built on Jeff's ranch property, buried underground within a mountain, and it's intended to symbolize long-term thinking. Of course, it was also Blue Origin, which is Jeff's space exploration company. The company focuses on vertical takeoff and landing vehicles with an introduction that would allow humans to colonize space. The company is mostly funded using Jeff's money. He has been quoted saying he plans to use his Amazon fortune on space exploration, which he tries back to his fascination watching NASA missions as a child. Although he's on the run for becoming the world's first trillionaire, Bezos is said to often prefer driving himself around in a used Honda Accord, which is valued in the low 5 figures. A profile CBS's Bob Simon did of Bezos in 1999 for 60 Minutes, resurfaced by GeekWire, showed Bezos driving the car. When Simon asked, "What's with the Honda?" After a laugh, Bezos replied, "This is a perfectly good car." However, despite this inspiring modesty, Bezos is the proud owner of the stunning sports car collection. Number 1. Ferrari Pininfarina Sergio, $3 million. Winner of an Auto Design Award, the Pininfarina boasts a perfect balance between the advanced technology of its man-machine interface and its refined, handcrafted details, all essential elements of a signature Ferrari sports car. Number 2, Bugatti Veyron Mansory, $3 million. Integrating traditional craftsmanship and hand-picked materials, the limited edition Veyron Mansory is the perfect combination of luxury and expert engineering. Number 3, W Motors Lykan Hypersport, $3.4 million. The first hypercar created by W Motors took center stage in Universal Studios' Furious 7. It was featured as the hero car in the movie and is the most expensive car ever to be featured in the Fast and the Furious franchise. As you can see, Jeff Bezos can spend his money however he pleases. So what would you do if you have a fortune like Jeff Bezos?